So this is July 12th, 2021. I'm Diane Barrett. I'm here interviewing Marianne Barlow. And I'm just going to start with some simple questions like, well, how do you want us to list your occupation, Marianne?
Music teacher / singer-songwriter.
Great. And we have your name spelled correctly? Marianne?
Yes. Yeah.
Barlow. Perfect. And what's your birthday?
October 3rd.
Coming up. Very good. And Marianne is a new aunt. I've known Marianne for a long time. We haven't seen each other for a long time.
So, that's true.
Well, have you written a lullaby for your nephew?
Sort of, yeah. It's it turned out to be more of like a playtime song, but yeah, I'm in process. I've written one, and I'm in process of a second one.
Lucky guy. Huh. So are you currently writing music or doing music, or where are you at with your career?
So most of my songwriting stuff is not the money-making part of the career, but it's a creative outlet. So
that could change.
It could change. I think I would have to put more effort in that direction for that to change, but it's possible that could happen.
Where were you born?
I was born in the San Fernando Valley. I always go like, oh my gosh, I'm like a valley girl.
Right. And now you're living in Oakland?
Yeah.
A lot of lesbians live in Oakland.
That's true.
I've noticed that even in the interviews. Have you had an opportunity to watch some of the interviews?
Just a little bit of one so far, yeah.
So when did you become aware that you were lesbian?
Well, the final straw happened when I was about 21, I want to say. There had been inklings before that since I was a preteen, probably. But I tended to push them away and ignore them until it became too obvious.
Mm-hmm. And then you came out at that moment, or you just came out to yourself?
Well, I came out to myself, and I came out to the woman I had a crush on, and that wasn't mutual. So but she was really nice about it. And I came out to my boyfriend at the time, who I had to break up with, and yeah, and then slowly to friends and family from then on.
It was pretty easy to tell your family?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Yeah, since my mom's a lesbian too, I knew that she would understand.
What did she say?
She was really surprised because
she
never saw it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was pretty boy crazy in high school. I always had some boy that I was head over heels crushing over. So yeah, and I hid all those inklings really deep inside.
Mm-hmm.
So
obviously
surprised and I don't know, maybe a little delighted. I'm not sure.
What was it like growing up to have two women be your primary nurturers, for lack of a better word?
Well, to me it was just normal because my mom came out when I was 6 years old, and
she came out to you?
Well, yeah, to herself, to the immediate family, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just that's how our family was, and I did get the sense growing up that it wasn't something to share with everyone. Like there were people that wouldn't understand and wouldn't like it, so we learned to be cautious about who knew. So there was that, which probably developed some internalized homophobia unconsciously, but
right.
yeah. but I also, I mean, I did also have my dad. Um, we shared custody, so we went back and forth and had multiple parents. I ended up in the end with
Or
four moms and one dad.
so he liked that, I'm sure. The only dad, right?
Yeah.
I asked that because, as you know, we have adopted a daughter. I felt it hasn't always been easy for her to have two mothers, but we're always out, so she doesn't complain. But it's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten, more and more mainstream and accepted over the years because I've had, when I was a preschool teacher, there were several families headed by two men or two women that came through the school, and it was never a thing. It was just, this is how that family is, and this is how your family is, and this is how another family is. So
That's what you told them, right?
yeah, and that's how, the other parents reacted too. Like it was not a thing.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
Where was it? Where were you teaching at the time?
I taught preschool in San Francisco and Oakland. So that is within the liberal bubble.
Hey,
Yeah.
why not? So where are you at now in your teaching and your music, your life?
Yeah. So I'm doing a lot of music teaching on Zoom still from the pandemic.
You have a channel that's yours that people could find you?
Oh, like a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I do, but there's not a lot of stuff on it right now. You can search for Marianne Barlow. So yeah, I've been teaching beginners, mostly beginners, guitar, ukulele, and piano.
Mm-hmm.
And the big money maker is piano for young children.
Is it? You do that online?
Well, I do since the pandemic. I never had thought I would teach online because
Right.
I knew people who did before the pandemic, and I just didn't see how that could work. But once there was no other choice, it was either teach online or don't work. I figured out how to do it. So
Good for you.
I'm probably going to stay online until January of 2022.
I've heard many people say that actually. In fact, they sort of like being online.
There's aspects of it that I like,
Right.
being able to commute from the other room instead
Right.
of town or
Right.
yeah. But there's definitely the online is really hard with music because you can't do anything in sync.
Mhm.
So I can't play duets with my students. I can't count to keep their rhythm steady because it doesn't work. So in person is definitely better.
So how do you teach piano? Do they have their own piano at the time you're teaching them?
Yeah, so they'll have either, an electronic keyboard or piano at home, and I tell the parents which piano books to buy so that I have the same book in front of me that they have at home. And there's a lot of different techniques I'll use. Like there's some games that other piano teachers have developed that work online, and I can screen share on Zoom. I can do like a whiteboard on Zoom and put up visual aids, to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. Or
You sound very creative, Marianne.
well,
Yes.
yeah,
Do you agree with that?
it's fun to figure out like what can reach this student. Where's their thinking right now, and where do they need to go next?
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to be able to teach one person at a time because I taught in the classroom. I taught kindergarten to third grade for 8 years, and then preschool for 10 years, and that's a lot of crowd control.
Awesome.
And before you get to the actual teaching and learning.
So you come from a family of teachers and musicians.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. My mom taught preschool for, 30 plus years. Yeah. Yeah. And my dad was a professional musician and then a Methodist minister after that.
Very good. So are you in a relationship currently?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my partner teaches second grade, so there's another
Oh,
teacher.
goodness.
Yeah.
So she's been teaching online too?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, public school in Oakland, Oakland Unified, and yeah, it's been I hear her in the other room on her Zoom call.
So you have Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, she'll be saying things like, you know, why aren't you in your breakout room? What? What?
Right?
Yeah, turn on your video, please. You know,
Oh,
second
well,
grade.
we'd like to interview her too. How long have you been together?
We have been together 14 years.
Whoa, Marianne. Wow,
Yeah,
good for you.
yeah.
And you met her where?
Well, we actually initially met on Craigslist from
Mhm.
a personal ad that I posted.
Mhm.
Um, and then, yeah, we met in person at there's this Dia de los Muertos festival
Ah,
in the Fruitvale section of Oakland. And so that was our first meeting in person.
good.
Yeah.
So after you posted on Craigslist, how long before she responded? I'm just curious.
Well, she was the third of four people who responded.
Right.
So I don't remember. It was probably a week or so. Yeah.
Responding to do that. What was your first date then, officially?
The first official, I mean, I think we've discussed whether it was the Dia de los Muertos festival or not, but I think it was. I mean, it probably was that because that's where we met, and it was kind of a date. But then we went to an Indigo Girls concert.
Uh-huh. All right.
That's a good, huge lesbian icon thing to do.
Right. Right. Oh, good.
Yeah.
And you moved in when?
Um, I guess I moved in with her about over a year later. I'm thinking wrong. My years are mixed up in my head. We bought our house when we've been together almost 2 years.
Wonderful
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
And how was your mother when you told her you were had someone serious in your life?
Happy. Yeah.
Yeah, she would be. You have a great mother, of course. I don't have to tell you
Yeah, you know her very well.
that. And I'm happy to know you all these years. So it's great to catch up. You're the youngest person that's volunteered for this. So we need other people. And teaching is not an easy place to be out.
It really varies, I think, depending on the setting, like what type of teaching you're doing and where you are geographically.
Mhm.
Because it changed for me a lot over the course of my career. Like when I was in college, I went to Humboldt State University
Uh-huh.
and I had joined the Gay and Lesbian Student Alliance on campus. And, they tell you on your resume to put your clubs, whatever clubs you've been in.
Mhm.
And I put it on my resume, and my mom told me I shouldn't, that
Mhm.
I should be careful doing that. Um, and the first student teaching assignment that they placed me at turned me down.
You think it
And
was because of
I
that?
can't,
You don't
they
know.
never said that was the reason,
Right.
but I can't think of any other reason they would.
I know.
And so that was in Eureka, which is a little, a lot more,
I've been there.
yeah, of a conservative bubble. So I took it off my resume and tried again, and I got a second placement. So then I was scared, and I was like, never gonna tell anyone in my career.
How old were you then?
I was about 22.
Yeah. See, unfortunately, that's a difficult age because you're trying to find your place. Doesn't mean you're going to stay there for the rest of your life, but you're really starting out.
Yeah. So then it gradually got easier to come out at work. So probably my second and third years teaching, I worked at a public school in San Jose.
Huh?
And my partner, kindergarten teacher, was a gay man, really obviously gay.
Uh-huh.
And so we formed what we called the Rainbow Room. and I was out to the teachers that I knew well at that school.
Mhm. So how did parents take that?
The parents did not. I was not out to the parents.
Did you change your room into a rainbow room?
Well, we called it the Rainbow, but I don't know. I mean, I think he was out. He was Well, they probably knew he was gay unless they were just totally unaware. It was pretty obvious to anyone with any kind of gaydar, but
First time well, I was in class when I was training to be a therapist, and there were a couple guys, three guys in the class, and we decided we'd go to a parade in Hollywood. And they were teachers. All these guys were teachers at different levels of education. So Richard said, I'm really afraid somebody's going to get me in trouble because he taught high school. I said, well, I mean, what can you say? So, but he wanted to go anyway. We were there like 5 minutes before a student said, hi, Mr. Bass. Well, he didn't lose his job over it, but it took care of that. I'm afraid somebody's going to recognize me. They were probably glad to see him there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully anybody who was there was supportive.
I know, you never know. And you do fear it. I mean, it was his job. Yeah. So, what advice would you give to young lesbians starting out just in careers as far as being open or not?
I would say follow your gut and your heart. Like if it doesn't feel safe, trust that.
Right.
If you can do, if there's any flexibility that you have to get yourself into an environment that does feel safe, like do anything you can to do that so that you can be out and be yourself and be comfortable. But if you don't have the resources or the open doors at the moment to do that, then
Don't.
it's good. It feels good to come out if you can and if it's safe, but if it's not, take care of yourself first.
That's good advice. Do women come to you and talk to you about what's it like?
I don't think
A
so.
little after this. Ready. Oh, it's really helpful.
Well, I mostly tend to hang out with women my mom's age, so I'm always coming to them for advice. I don't know a lot of younger women.
Really, I was honored that you decided to interview with us.
Well,
I know you have a lot to give people, and I can see you're happy.
Thanks.
Since you was a very tall person. Tall. Great. Has there been a certain person or group of people that's been significant to you or mentoring?
Yeah, I would say my first big like coming of age mentoring group was the Girl Scouts.
Really?
Yeah. I was never a Girl Scout as a kid, but I worked at Girl Scout camp for 6 summers in college and just after. And it was like the time of my life. It was like figuring out like who I was as a, independent adult person and learning outdoor skills and, practicing working with kids, being a teacher and meeting friends that would last a lifetime and just the memories and sleeping under the stars and hiking and
all those girls.
Oh, it was the best time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the Girl Scouts. And then it was, next was women's choruses and women's like singing. So I was a member of the Rainbow Women's Chorus in San Jose. And that was really great. And then I found Women Making Music, which is, it's the camp that it was started by Judy Fiel, who's a singer-songwriter based up in Montana. And she ran a summer camp up in Montana called Summer Sing. And some friends she used to live in California, but she was from Montana. And she had some friends that went to that camp, and they wanted to have one in California, closer to where they lived. They started up Women Making Music in about 1991. And it's this amazing community. We have camps twice a year. And
fun.
Singing workshops and instrument workshops and body percussion and theater improv. songwriting and jam sessions and choral singing and just this amazing, really loving community, accepting people of all levels of musicianship, whether you just want to come and
That's
listen
good.
to the music or whether you're a professional, anywhere in between. You know, people have come for like 20 years and just started learning the ukulele, you know, and
Very
people have
good. For
come,
the piccolo or something.
yeah. So Judy retired from leading that camp a few years ago, and I'm now the director. So,
Well, okay.
yeah,
Wonderful, Marianne. So you're on your way.
yeah.
Oh, is your partner a musician? Is she?
No, she does go to camp. I mean, she's for fun amateur, you know, she
Mhm.
sings in the choruses at camp and dabbles in the ukulele,
That's why
but
you.
she's usually too busy in the school year to keep up with it. So she's like a twice a year ukulele player.
It's good.
Yeah.
So do you have a dog?
Yes, I have two dogs sleeping on the couch behind me.
I remember your dog,
They're
Pie.
very cute little guys.
Uh, and you have your own house?
Yes. Yeah,
Wonderful. Give yourself a pat on the back.
I know.
Right. Very nice. You've accomplished a lot.
With other people's support and help too.
Always, always.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
People really genuinely want to help. And it sounds like you give back.
I try to. Yeah.
Well, I think you've been successful.
Thank you.
Right. And if you knew that you had a terminal illness or were going to die shortly, how would you like to be remembered?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I would like my songs to carry on. I would like people to know my music.
All right. That's a good thing. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's very remarkable. And we'll put that in your video. So thank you. Stay in touch with us. We'll stay in touch with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Marianne, if ever I can help you or Marge can help you, let us know.
Thank you very much.
Gotta get a message to you. Gotta find a way to touch you across the sea of blue. And Cleopatra's here beside me, keeping your place warm until you find a way to get back to me across the sea of blue. And I know
All right.
All right.
it's
Bye.
gonna
Bye.
be alright. I know it's gonna be alright. Looking up at the stars reminds me how you put your arms around me. Never thought we'd fall